Hello, my name is Nicole Carson-Bonilla and I'm a portrait photographer. I thought Disney's live-action remake of Cinderella was a delightful mix of gorgeous cinematography, beautiful costumes, and adorable romance. And I really appreciate their portrayal of Cinderella as a kind and forgiving young woman. This epic photoshoot project was a dream come true for me, and I found the perfect models, Kelsie and Brady, to portray Cinderella and Kit. In this video, I'll take you on my creative journey through making Cinderella's teal work dress and her magical blue ball gown, but also Kit's green riding suit and princely white jacket. Then I'll take you behind the scenes to our cinematic photo shoots, doing laundry, feeding mice, riding horses, ballroom dancing, trying on a glass slipper, and falling in love. We'll conclude with the exciting reveal of all the portraits with Kelsie and her two beautiful sisters. But before we go any further, please do me a quick favor and click the like and subscribe buttons below.
Playing Cinderella was like a dream come true. The live action Cinderella movie has actually been like my favorite movie since it came out. I just remember thinking about like how insanely magical it was. In the movie, Ella has the motto like, have courage and be kind. You don't really think of being courageous and being kind as two and the same, and they are.
Goodwill is my local thrift store and one of my favorite places to shop when styling photo shoots. I found this set of teal, aqua-colored bed sheets to use for Cinderella's work dress. I altered an existing pattern to make the bodice of the dress. I used every inch of the flat sheet for the dress's skirt. I used fabric ink to hand paint the floral pattern onto the dress. I made a light blue petticoat to go under the dress and a brown apron to finish off the outfit. You can watch step-by-step instructions on how I made this dress in a separate video. Costume designer Sandy Powell came up with a brilliant design for Cinderella's blue ball gown that is simple and iconic. I have never been so excited yet so intimidated to make a dress before. But I went for it, and instead of 80 yards of fabric like in the original, I used about 20 yards of matching blue taffeta and organza. I first made the corset and inserted boning to help it hold its shape. After making the sash around the neckline, I hand-stitched the delicate butterflies to the corset. I made the skirt with 6 layers of fabric. There's a base layer of taffeta, 4 layers of tulle, and a gathered top layer of organza. I applied blue rhinestones to add the magical sparkle. You can check out my separate video with step-by-step instructions to how I made this dress without the use of a magic wand. I made Kit's jacket out of a set of green curtains that I also purchased from Goodwill. I ironed on some gold appliques to give the regal look. I made his vest from some upholstery fabric purchased from Hobby Lobby and a teal scarf from fabric purchased at Sass Fabrics. I made Kit's royal white jacket from some stretched denim purchased from Joann's. I found some white appliques at Sass Fabrics that I spray painted silver and ironed onto his jacket. I used some simple blue cotton fabric on the jacket and neck scarf. His pants are just a pair of baseball athletic pants I purchased on Amazon. His boots are actually rubber rain boots, but they have the same shape as riding boots, and I was able to find them on eBay. I also found his sword on eBay. It's a bit short, but has the perfect ornate handle. I used some craft foam and faux suede to make sword holsters to match his white and green riding jackets.
First photo shoot that we did was the laundry shoot. I was really nervous. I can get a little shy in front of cameras. First, I came here and then we got in my dress and in my hair, and that was the first time I had seen it like all together, and that was like super exciting. Like felt real. And then we headed over to someone's backyard, and then we set up clotheslines and we tried to like strategically place like where the dresses would be.
I used my Canon EOS R with a Canon 24-7 2.8 lens. I love the auto eye focus on this camera. I used my portable backdrop stand to hang some large flat sheets. While the sun was still bright, I utilized natural light without the need for any flashes. The large hanging sheets provided some soft diffusion. Once the sun started to set, I used a Canon Speedlight 600EX and a Westcott Apollo softbox with 2 added layers of white fabric diffusion as my key light.
It was cool to see how we could make a little space in someone's backyard look so magical. It just made the whole experience like feel real, and it was like super exciting.
I really wanted to have some geese in the background of a few of the portraits, and the herald's father, Keith Shumway, lives a few houses down and has quite a few geese, but I learned they are quite ornery little creatures, So I had to settle with photographing them from afar and compositing them into the portraits in Photoshop. To recreate the scene of Ella waking up in front of the fireplace and earning her name of Cinderella, I set up a faux fur blanket and some pillows on my kitchen floor. Similar to a shot in the movie, I wanted the viewer to be looking through the fireplace at Cinderella as she wakes up. Our friends the Catmulls have a double-sided fireplace that worked perfectly. I was able to take my pictures through the fireplace and then clipped out the opening in Photoshop and used it to frame the portrait of Cinderella. The Dobbs family in my neighborhood generously allowed me to photograph their adorable little mice. Now, I say adorable after working with them because they really are much cuter than I previously thought. We tried to entice them with some peas and carrots to pose for our shots, but our real-life mice were not quite as grateful for the scraps as the CGI mice were in the movie. Now I know why they use CGI mice.
Honestly, I wasn't too nervous with the mice. I don't really mind, but I definitely did have scratches on my arms the next day from the mice. But playing with them was honestly kind of fun.
I grew up performing with horses, so anytime I get to photograph horses, I'm a little extra excited. Brady's grandfather, Pat Brady, allowed us to use 2 of his beautiful horses and shoot among his citrus trees at his ranch.
Horses was super exciting. Getting on the horse was a little rough because I was in my dress. So I was kind of like, okay, everybody, don't look. I'm hopping on the horse now. I don't know what's gonna happen in my dress.
I wanted to capture the meeting of Cinderella and Kit for the first time. Then I took a few creative liberties with some additional shots that weren't necessarily in the movie.
So Kit was played by Brady. We had never met before, so it was someone that Nicole had found. And so she told me to be on the lookout for a Prince Charming, and I was like, oh, I hadn't found one. She was like, okay, I found the perfect one. And he was 18, so a little bit younger than me, but it was totally fine. It was really good to work with him. He always smelled really good, so that was nice.
The Chateau de Vie is a unique Victorian-style mansion located in Chandler, Arizona. The Goodman family owns the mansion and graciously allowed us to stage a couple of photo shoots there.
The ball gown exceeded all my hopes and dreams. I was not expecting it to be feel so grand and so beautiful and so authentic. Even wearing it, it felt real, like it was from the movie.
The chateau provided several settings for photo shoots, including a gorgeous staircase, ballroom, and balcony. The challenge was using tight crops and compositions to minimize the fact that there were no guests at this ball. I used a combination of 3 Canon speed lights, my softbox, and Mag Mod modifiers to get soft lighting.
Doing the photo shoot, I had a hard time fitting in doorways, and I tripped a lot. And going up the stairs was tough because I couldn't see the 5 steps in front of me, so I never knew where I was stepping. In the ballroom, there was a little window sill that you could sit on, so I ended up sitting there and then just holding the glass slipper and looking out the window. I think that was one of the times where it was easiest to get into character, because you could kind of think, okay, what are some times where you looked out at something you wanted to do or you wanted to be somewhere but you couldn't be there.
I purchased the glass slipper for about $30 on Amazon. It isn't quite life-size, but close enough to be convincing in portraits.
So we did this scene where Kit brings Ella the slipper, and then in the movie, the fairy godmother, the one who narrates the movie, actually says something along the lines of and Ella, finally had the courage to be seen for who she was. I think that's probably one of the most powerful scenes, is she wasn't, in this gorgeous dress or with this sparkly hair, her hair all done. She was seen exactly, how she's always been. And she allowed herself to be shown like that to Kit, allowed herself to be vulnerable and to be seen like that. And then, he ended up loving her for exactly who she was.
I used 2 of my Canon speed lights in addition to the window light for the portraits. My softbox was my key light, and the mag bounce provided additional light in the darker corners of the room. The chateau's red brick exterior and large front door made the perfect backdrop for the reunited couple to make their debut. I used natural light for all of these portraits.
Not only is the chateau just beautiful, there's also some gorgeous grounds around it. Pictures of us on the bridge type thing isn't necessarily in the movie, but I just remember Nicole saying like, okay, now, you know, all the crazy things have happened, you know, you've reunited, it's exciting, and now you actually get to like spend time with each other. Because you haven't really spent time with each other since, you know, that initial night at the dance. I remember feeling like it was a very like peaceful way, like the pictures are very content, like we're very happy to be together, and it's time, like it was time to be alone and get to be with each other and get to know each other better.
The guest suite of my home has been converted into my portrait studio. I used my Westcott Apollo softbox with a speed light as my key light. Then I have a second speed light set up behind my backdrop with a MagMod mag sphere pointed at the ceiling, providing a soft hair light. A third speed light with a MagMod mag bounce is pointed at the white sheet behind me for subtle fill light. I brought Kelsie and Brady in for some classic portraits in character.
When you think of a Cinderella portrait, like this is what they would be, and so that felt really cool because it was more on like the Hollywood side of things, like more in like a movie type of thing, like, you know, an actress takes a picture in a studio, and so that made me feel really like kind of cool, and it felt like really like professional, and so I like taking the little portrait pictures like that. These two lovely ladies are my sisters, if you can't tell. This is AMALIE and this is BAYLIE, and so like Ella, I have my sisters, except they're not evil. Group hug. Yay! Yay! Best friends. We came over to Nicole's house for the portrait reveal, and I was super excited. I've been anticipating this since she first asked me to do this. I've seen a few as like teasers, but seeing the rest of them, it was unreal. And it was really cool to see all of our photo shoots pieced together, all together to create a story.
It looked like they were screenshots from the movie. It just felt like you had pulled it right out of the Cinderella universe. Like, it just felt so authentic, and like, she just looked so beautiful. She embodied Ella so well, and I just thought it was stunning.
I was just blown away. Couldn't bring myself to even think or pick a favorite because each one captured such a beautiful moment, and I just feel like Kelsie captured the like innocence and beauty of Ella so well. And so to see it all come together, it was just so fun. And I know that like everyone's worked so hard on it, and it just paid off so well because it's so stunning.
There's lots of different mixed messages with how to handle people that are not good to you. And there's so many people that go about it different ways, but the approach that Cinderella took was forgive you, move on.
I think that she is a great role model, again, because of her honesty. When Kit first sees her for the first time for who like she truly is, you can feel her like vulnerability, and you can feel that she is just honest and true about who she is, and she's not ashamed of it, and she's like proud of it. Yeah, she's not apologizing for it. She just is, this is how I am.
So I feel like Cinderella is a role model because I just love the motto, have courage and be kind, and I just feel like we really can stand up for what we believe in, we really can stand up for ourselves and others, but we really can do it in a kind way.
I am so proud of Kelsie and Brady and appreciate them bringing Cinderella and Kit to life in these portraits. Allowing ourselves to be seen as we truly are can be so difficult at times, and this is a process I guide all of my portrait clients through, and something I encourage all of us to be more willing to do. Disney's depiction of Cinderella has inspired me to want to have a little more courage and be a little more kind. If you like this video, don't leave without clicking the like and subscribe buttons below. Then I can keep making videos like this one and show you my behind the scenes process for my creative photo shoots.